Well, hi everyone. I'm John Redland. This is my review of WWE NXT, and we are building towards TakeOver in Your House, where we find out that Cole and Dream are going to have a cinematic match. Hooray! They're driving the cinematic wrestling concept into the ground. But how was this episode? I'm going to be honest, since this whole Wednesday Night War thing started, in my personal opinion, just my opinion, AEW has won a lot more than they've lost. If we're going to do the comparison, it's great to have two competing wrestling shows on Wednesdays and the fans win and the wrestlers win because we get to see, both shows compete to, get the biggest audience and also to put on the best show and give the best platform to their talents. That being said, even though AEW's won most weeks, in my opinion, this week, NXT won. Now, NXT wasn't great. It had some great moments. It had some stuff that made me roll my goddamn eyes. But there was a lot of shit on AEW that I just personally couldn't stand. Check out my review of Dynamite for that. Anyway, NXT is back in the plexiglass house, and we start off with Drake Maverick, Kushida, and Jake Atlas in the three-way match to determine who will take on Phantasma for the NXT Cruiserweight Championship, because Jordan Devlin, who is a champion, can't defend it. We all know why. So you take three men, human centipede them together, and you get a pretty good match, actually. You get Kushida getting to show what he can do. Finally, Jake Atlas, who is also good in the ring, and Maverick, who's having this whole story of, well, he may be fired, but he's going to get the Cruiserweight Championship, and then maybe he's going to leave and show up at shows, and he's going to pull a CM Punk, and he's going to come back with Cult of Personality as his theme. No, that's not what he's going to do. There was a cool triple pin at one point where I think Kushida had Atlas pin, with a bridge, and did a German suplex pin to Maverick, but it was only for a 2 count. Still cool stuff. Big dive outside by Kushida to Atlas. His head hit the ground. I hope he's okay. That looked pretty brutal. Rainbow DDT, but no, Kushida broke up the pin. And armbreaker by Atlas. I'm not going to go move for move here, but this is really good pace, really fast paced. And, Atlas is caught in the armbreaker. So, Drake Maverick manages to get his arm over Jake Atlas. 1, 2, 3. And as the 3 counts going down, Jake Atlas taps out because he can't take it anymore. So we had this disputed finish thing. But Drake Maverick is declared the winner. The referee's decision is final, except when it's not. So this is the time where they decide it was final. This is a fun opener. And then Phantasma comes down and confronts Maverick. Okay, you and me for the championship? All right, we get to have that. Cool, you know what? I'm fine with that. Phantasma's probably going to win, and Maverick's going to go off and do whatever. Unless they decide to re-sign him, honestly, at this point, I don't know what they should do. Unless they're working us, they haven't re-signed him. I have no goddamn idea. Was the match good? Absolutely. What wasn't good was Gargano and Candice acting as heels in the Gargano Invitational, Open Invitational. And look, I know that Gargano's trying, and they give him credit for trying to be a heel here, and Candice is trying to be darker and everything, but here's the thing. All she is Gargano's wife as a heel now. She doesn't have any other personality other than that, and she can't even come up with some good insults. Like, she really struggled with some of this stuff here, and they cut some bad promos, and then we had this guy named Adrian Alanis, but I think it's Alanis. I'm just going to say Alanis. He fell head over feet, and then got beat with the Gargano escape. Cool, whatever. Then Keith Lee and Mia Yim are having dinner, and they mock the whole, dinner with the Garganos thing, and do the light, the light spoopiness and everything, where they had pig noises whenever, it ends. And then Keith Lee's like, oh, I blinded myself. But, well, that worked up an appetite. He did say one good line, though, about Johnny Gargano. My action figure and I are the same size. That's pretty good. That's pretty goddamn good. And then he says to me again, well, that worked up an appetite. What did you cook? And she said, cook the same thing Candice likes to make. Takeout. I made jokes that if Candice's promos match her cooking skills, that Gargano will be doing takeout a whole lot. Because Candice, I'm sure, is a lovely person. But good God, she is a bland character on TV. Not that Gargano isn't, but Gargano's really good in the ring, and Candice has not been able to show what she can do, though she did some good shit in the War Games. But that was a really good line by Mia. I'm ashamed to admit that I laughed. And then Tegan is delivering pizza. Keith Lee says, and apparently she has got the key. I don't know why Tegan's delivering pizza. I have several questions about this. Does she do takeout service? Does she knocks on your door? I have no idea. Oh, she did knocks on the door. I see what I did there. I'm the only one laughing, I'm pretty certain, because I'm the only one that's going to laugh at my stupid jokes. So it was what it was. Tegan had eaten most of the pizza, and there was like one slice left. So it was just a way to mock Gargano and Candice. And then we have Drake Maverick and Kushida talking, and Kushida says, hey, you won? Go get him. Kushida's really, really good. I wonder if he regrets signing with NXT. New Japan should have let him get out of the juniors division, in my personal opinion. But hey, he wanted to go to America and earn even bigger money and be on an even bigger platform, be on a different platform. Good for him. So, Marcel Bartel and Fabian Eichner talk about the mat being sacred, bro. But actually, they talked about Lorcan and Birch. We get to hear from them later. Shotzi in her little tank comes out here, and it's Shotzi versus Raquel Gonzalez with Dakota Kai. And Tegan comes out a little bit later because during this match, which wasn't a bad match, it was David Goliath match, and Shotzi's pretty good in the ring. Raquel has improved and has been able to show what she can do. She did some nice power moves here. Dakota tries to steal the tank. Tegan stops her. Then it goes to the break. And then Raquel bear hugs Shotzi at one point. And then Shotzi does this dive where Dakota and Raquel are out there. And Shotzi does this thing where she gets on the ropes and just does this, I assume a trust fall, but just almost like totally shatters her neck and spine. Like, is she all right? Like, in all seriousness, is she all right? I mean, I don't follow her on social media, but like, that looked really brutal. I mean, I watched Dynamite Live, so I watched this later. I wasn't aware of this bump, and I'm like, holy fuck. I hope she's okay. They went to the finish pretty damn quickly. Candice distracts Tegan by being completely bland and boring. And then Dakota kicks Shotzi while the referee's distracted because apparently he's keeping an eye on the two people that aren't in the goddamn match. And then, oh wait, Dakota, who also isn't in the match, gets a kick and then a spiked slam of some sorts. 1, 2, 3. And then we get dueling pre-tape promos between Priest and Balor. Priest wants, to take Balor down. Balor wants a Priest to kneel before him. Stop thinking it. You know who you are. Stop thinking it, because I know who you are. And you know. They know who they are. This got away from me. Look, it was fine. That match should be decent. And then we get Rhea and Io versus Charlotte and Chelsea Green. Okay, cool. Look, one, I'm indifferent to Chelsea Green. She's a good talent. I like the whole hot mess thing, that she did. That was actually pretty good. Got to, let her show some personality. Can't stand Charlotte. She's as bland as white bread. Can't even do a goddamn moonsault. Rhea and Io, I like. So Chelsea Green is a mystery partner. Chelsea dies at one point. It looked like she really hurt herself. I hope she's all right. Both these shows were snake bit, where people just seem to either get injured or at least take some tough bumps, and ouch. Charlotte is just aggressively boring. She gets in there when Rhea and Io are beaten down because she doesn't want to get her hands dirty because she's facing both these women at In Your House. Let me know if I should do In Your House predictions, by the way. Let me know in the comments. Let me know on Twitter. I'll put my Twitter handle in the description like always, unless you already follow me there, and then just find me on there. So, after Rhea gets knocked down into the plexiglass, Charlotte hits the most devastating maneuver in all of professional wrestling, the surprise roll-up, uses the ropes, and pins Io. Cool. You couldn't have just had Chelsea take the pin, because they just don't seem to know what to do with Chelsea Green, so you might as well job her out and then reinvent her, because this whole Robert Stone brand thing ain't working, but it is what it is. Charlotte gets to win. Please have Charlotte lose. I don't care if you have Rhea and Io pin her, and they become co-champions, and they have to fight in the best of 7 series or something, but just something. Get the title off of Charlotte, because she is just not helping any of the shows. Gargano and Candice talk about being the one power couple in NXT. And then Candice takes 4 fucking years to insult Tegan. Like, she's processing, error, .exe, I am God. Wait, that's Sonic.exe. Look, I understand they script people, but for fuck's sake, Candice, come on. If you actually are trying to sink your teeth into this, if they're giving you bad material, I mean, you worked with bad people before in wrestling. You should know how to do something on a big stage like this. And Gargano isn't much better with this stuff. He tries to say it with conviction. I don't fucking believe him. So I'm not buying these two at all. So Regal and Cole, are on a call. And then a guy like Velveteen is something that Cole said. He loved the Triple H Booker T feud in 2003, apparently. I'm not accusing Cole of anything. That's just what those lines remind me of. Velveteen versus Cole at In Your House will be cinematic, apparently, because Regal's going to choose a location. If Velveteen Dream does not beat Adam Cole, he will not get a shot as long as Adam Cole is champion. So, Birch and Lorcan talk about, fighting each other and then teaming up. They meet in a pub, and they're going to target Imperium. Cool. Okay, you know what? I like Birch and Lorcan as a team. If I was a billionaire or the son of a billionaire and had a bunch of money, and I could sign a tag team to my company, I'd sign Birch and Lorcan. They are money. They are really, really goddamn good. Very hard hitting. Then we get Ciampa versus Leon Ruff. Leon Ruff, who lost last week to Cross, and he lost here to Ciampa. Scarlett also shows up looking like a villain from a Dario Argento movie. Now, Sargento, that is cheese, but a Dario Argento movie. If you know who I'm talking about, you get it. Italian horror is what I'm saying. 60s, 70s Italian horror. Maybe even 80s Italian horror, but definitely 60s, 70s. And that's not an insult. She has had a unique look about her, and she's there to kind of, push the whole thing between Cross and Ciampa. And then fairy tale ending 1, 2, 3. Cross shows up with the camera about 2,000% too close to him and talks about, oh, you are special, and this is going to be a special night, and I'm going to beat you, and this is what's going to happen. So cool. All right, you know what? It was a nice way to hype it. So we get Drake versus Phantasma next week, Mia versus Candice, and Prime Target, which is going to be video packages on the Women's Championship match, 3-way, Rhea, Io, and, the Golden Shovel moron, Charlotte, and then also Velveteen and Cole. So basically, that review is probably going to be pretty short because I'm probably not going to have anything really to talk about if they're only going to have a few matches and a bunch of promo stuff. Then we get the NXT Fight Pit. Kurt Angle is the referee. He was one of the furloughed guys, so he actually could be brought back at any point, and I'm sure he got paid pretty well for this. But it was good to see him there. We have Riddle versus Thatcher, and it was like scaffolding around. It was like an updated Lion's Den between Ken Shamrock and Owen Hart, the late great Owen Hart. It was like weird. It was a square, but it was scaffolding up there, and then it was like a cage where there's one way in, one way out, but the only way to win is by tap out or knockout. Okay, cool. All right, pretty simple. And once again, this reminded me of Thunderdome. Welcome to Thunderdome. These two had a great match like they had before, like that that main event that they had recently, was really goddamn good. The brutal fisting, was just absolutely insane, and the brutal kicks were absolutely insane, so much so that Thatcher lost some teeth. And Thatcher already, I think, had some teeth that he lost at one point, so this really wasn't helping, but boy, that was brutal. He was spitting up blood. They had to check on him and then go to break because they had taped this already, so I think they had a chance to edit it while the doctors checked on him, and that's fair. I mean, that's fair. Yes, we want to make it as real as possible. We also want people to maybe, not bleed all over and be safe and make sure they're actually all right. But Thatcher's a warrior. Riddle was also very good here. And, of course, Riddle at one point gets the rear mount, and I did not laugh immaturely, except I totally did. They were on the scaffold, an ankle lock on the scaffold. It looked like Riddle was going to pass out because he was hanging over there. And then Thatcher crashes to the mat. We get the floating bro off the scaffold to the ring, which is like 7-8 feet up, but still pretty impactful. And Thatcher manages to get the rear naked choke on and gets the victory. So yeah, that's about it. This is the first time I'm not gonna crumple up my notes. This NXT episode wasn't perfect. The women's stuff was kind of messy, and I mean the women tried, but when you put Charlotte out there, I just instantly lose interest because I'm tired of her. I'm just tired of her. If WWE wants to keep putting her on all three brands, congratulations, WWE. You make me wish that Charlotte had not been brought into the company, which is a shame because for a while she wasn't that bad. But honestly, the show wasn't bad. It wasn't great, but it had a hell of a main event. I will give them that. Anyway, agree, disagree with what I said. Like, share, subscribe. Twitter handle in the description. I'm John Ritlin. I'll see you soon.